there's a lot of like weird stuff going on, and we're gonna start talking about it. I'm seeing, and it's a lot to do with these two games right here. New Stellar Blade that's coming out and the new God of War that's coming out. Now, I have opinions on both of these games. I have like a hot take on both of them. Let's see. The easiest and fastest one for me to talk about right now would probably be God of War. I think God of War is going to be good. I, however, don't think it's God of War, right? I think it belongs in the God of War franchise, but it's not God of War. This is not God of War. If you deadass look at this game and the first thing that comes to your mind is woke, you don't deserve to call yourself a gamer, I think you're wrong here. Like, if I look at this person and it's like, you shouldn't consider yourself a gamer because you don't accept other people's opinions. You don't call yourself a gamer. That's completely bullshit. Y'all are insufferable with replies. The game hasn't come out yet and you're already screaming, where's the gameplay? This isn't gameplay though, right? Like, when I first watched this trailer because I did watch it. When I first watched the trailer, it felt like a mix of, I played for 2 minutes, I watched 10 minutes. That's my biggest hang up with this game so far. Now, the game isn't out. I don't know. I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not what the game mainly is. I'm hoping the game isn't you play for a few minutes and then you're sitting down watching a movie for a half hour or like a show, because like I want to play a game, right? If I'm buying a video game, I want to play the video game. And I'm hoping that isn't the case with this, because if you look at old God of War, you were playing the game, like majority of it was just gameplay. And right now, failed indie movie makers are dipping their toes into the game industry and claiming it's a video game when they're just making an indie movie or something of that nature, right? And I don't want that in my gaming culture. I don't want that in the gaming sphere. If you're an indie movie maker, go make an indie movie, stay out of my fucking space, right? It's just that simple. I'm not saying you can't make those things. That's like that game, that soundtrack game or whatever the fuck it's called, the one with the teenagers rebelling. That's not a game. That's a 3-hour movie that you can interact with. That's an indie movie. That's not a game. And I don't believe that belongs in gaming. I don't believe that belongs in gaming. Sure, there's like a movie / game genre, but it's super niche. It might have a place, but it's not prime gaming. It's not front and center gaming, and I don't think it belongs getting awards and shit like that. It's more of an interactive movie is how I see it, right? It's not a game. You're an interactive movie. It's no different than when Goosebumps came out with books that had interactive chapters. There was a series within Goosebumps that RL 9. At the end of each chapter, at the end of each page, there was an option. So it was more interactive. Something was going on. You heard noise in the basement. Do you go check? Do you go get your parents? If you go get your parents, go to this page. If you go check, go to this page. You were still reading a story. You had some involvement, how the story was told. That's all it is. So movies, like games or movies like that, they're just interactive. You're just interacting with the movie. It's not a game. I don't consider them games. To be a game, you need to play. From what I've seen, the new God of War, which I'll talk more about that too. This is not gameplay. Right here, this is not gameplay right here. This is a cinematic. So, where's the... literally seeing gameplay in the trailer. This right here, there's no gameplay right here. At least not that I've seen yet. There's no gameplay here. I'm watching the game. Or I'm watching something. I'm watching a cinematic. None of this is controller based. I can let my controller down and this would still happen. Yeah, none of what I just seen is gameplay. None of this is gameplay. That was just a cinematic. Now, I don't think this is named properly. And I think that's the biggest hang up. I think this is the biggest issue with this right now. This is not God of War. It's not. Do I think it's going to be a good game? Yes. I think this is going to be a good game. I think it's very similar to the original God of War Kratos with the hack and slash. She could do the double jump. She could do air combos. She could do all kinds of hack and slash. It's very old school God of War which everyone wants that. The new God of War sucks. After God of War 3, the games just suck. Like, we'll be honest. You're watching a movie, right? The new God of Wars just fucking suck. They're absolute garbage. It's absolute fucking garbage. It is not Kratos. They are shit. The new God of Wars are just fucking shit. It is what they are. They're bad games. It's not true to the God of War franchise. On its own, like its own IP, could it be a good game? Sure. But it's no different than like The Last of Us, right? You're just watching the fucking game. And that's what happened with God of War and then God of War Ragnarok. You were watching Kratos. I think this should be a legacy, and they've already done this and it's already succeeded. So if you look at the legacy of Cain, you have Blood Omen, you have Soul Reaver, you have Blood Omen 2, Soul Reaver 2, you have Defiance, Defiance 2. These are their own games. They have their own different kind of mechanics, but it's in the realm of Cain, the legacy of Cain. You might as well call this like the legacy of God of War. Like, this is the legacy of God of War. That, like, I think honestly that's what it should be. And I think this game will get a lot more support because the God of War is Kratos. Kratos killed Ares to take that title. It's like, this isn't God of War. Like, she's not a God of War. She hasn't killed Kratos. Now, in the mythology, maybe she did kill the God of War. I'm not super familiar with this character, like her like lore. So maybe in her own right, she may be in other stories or other spin-offs. But in God of War canon with Kratos, because Kratos isn't canon to like the mythology, right? Kratos isn't part of the Olympus. He's not part of Zeus. He's not part of Hercules. Kratos is not a canon story. Kratos is a spin-off of the mythology. Therefore, in that spin-off, in this Kratos universe, unless she kills Kratos, she's not the God of War, right? So, and that could be anybody. That could have been his son. That could have been Thor. Could have been anybody, right? This isn't a God of War. Is it part of the same universe? Sure, I think everyone can agree on that. But this isn't the God of War. So I don't think they should have called it God of War Laufey. I think they probably should have just been like, I think the wording of it is screwing up a lot of people. I think the game is going to be good, right? As long as it's not all cinematic, I think the game is going to be good. I think this game, the only issue that this game has is the way it's titled. I think the game looks good. I think the engine looks all right. The combat looks fucking cool. It's old God of War. I think it's going to be good. Hopefully. But if it's just watching cinematic after cinematic after cinematic, I think that will ruin the game. I honestly do. Like, if this was called The Legacy of Kratos, Laufey, I think would be perfectly fine. Like, I think no one would bat an eye. No one would be upset. The Legacy of Kratos, Laufey's story. I don't think anyone would be pissed at that. I think this is just, it's not titled correctly. And I think a lot of people are getting hung up on the title of the game because everyone's like, oh, God of War, we want to be like, we're excited for Kratos. And then they see that it's Kratos' wife. And that's going to turn people off because it's like, hey, we're going to order Domino's pizza. And then when the pizza gets here, it's a pizza from a local joint, but it's shaped as a domino. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, like, are you wrong? Are you wrong? Like, is it like that's kind of what it is. It's like, oh, I got a Domino's style pizza. It's shaped like a domino, but it's not Domino's, right? It's kind of what they did here. It's like, we're getting Domino's pizza. You get it, and it's like, wait, this isn't Domino's. What the fuck is this? Well, I said it was Domino's. Like, you know what I mean? It is, and it isn't. It's misleading, right? And I think that's the biggest problem with this game. The title is misleading.